I've been doing some work on the short wheelbase belly dragger. Off camera, having issues with this and that, and decided to change things around, and I just can't leave things the way they are, ever. It's beyond my capacity. So I got rid of the other chassis, made my own, and better to show you, I guess. Take a look. So as you can see, it's pretty darn short, and there's basically no frame up front here at all. So I designed a frame, printed it in PTG to test with. The PTG is a little too flexible, but it's cheap enough to test with and make sure everything fits, because then I printed it in nylon carbon fiber, which is pretty damn strong, because I can't even bend it. I'm still learning how to print with this stuff, so it's not the best prints, but it's solid nonetheless. So with this setup, now I'm going to be able to put the batteries here. I ordered some straps, some shorter straps, because mine are way too long. So it's going to be a battery like that on each side. Keeping the center of gravity pretty low. And I had ordered, remember I said I ordered a gearbox from ALIEXPRESS, and it is utterly crap. But the problem is that this little piece here that sticks out is for the center gear. And what happens is this little piece gets in the way of installing the motor, because the motor, as you can see, if you look at the positioning of where the motor is supposed to go, well, the circle pretty much goes right over that section. So if I put this here like this, and I put a motor on it, look at that. So the motor has to be all the way over. And you know, if you use a pinion that they supply a 9-tooth pinion, the motor is over here. So what happens, you think? It sits right on top of that piece. So you'd have to use a pretty large pinion. And I don't know if the gearing and that would allow it. Anyway, the other issue is that the center gear mount is not even on bearings. And the other issue is that the gears were flopping around inside. They were pretty loose in general. So when it comes to setting up the motor and the pinion on the motor, you have to install the motor first. And now these gears are all flopping around because there's only one side of the shaft holding, and you can't adjust it with the cover on. So you have to put it together, see if it works, move it over a bit, put the cover back on, and so on and so forth. It's just crap. I'm probably just going to scrap it. So to fix this issue, I picked up a HotRacing gearbox. See, it has a little cover to be able to adjust the motor and the pinion. The one thing, like, this thing is really well made. There's no play, no slop whatsoever. It's nice. The one issue that I might have with this gearbox is the reduction. The reduction is very high. When I calculated before, I have a 21-tooth pinion in here now, and the reduction is 21 to 1. So hopefully my motor is fast enough. This is a 2050 kV from 90 mods, which I'm trying. And also testing out this Rhino ESC 80 amps, which seemed to go well when I tested it. So we'll have to see how that goes when we actually run the RC. So back to the chassis. This plate I bought it with that other gearbox, that crappy gearbox, but it's fine. All I had to do was do a bit of machining to drop the center of gravity a bit more and clean out the bottom of it, because there's like grooves and stuff in here, and it's like when you make a skid plate, it's supposed to be smooth, but it's got all kinds of grooves inside. Basically get hung up on rocks and stuff, which is kind of dumb. So having machined it, I gotta remachine these holes a little bit to get the screws to fit flush. So what I gotta do right now is switch over to this set of chassis rails and the body mounts for the Pajero body. These I printed in, as I mentioned before, in nylon carbon fiber, but these I printed in PETG because PETG is more flexible, and I wanted some flex for the body mounts. So other than that, it's looking pretty darn cool. Alright, so my phone died as I was assembling, but I got it done anyway. Alright, so this is what we got right now. It looks like a mini monster truck. It's sitting a little low in the back. I've already printed a new body mount for that, brings it about 10 millimeters up. But I think it looks pretty darn cool. I'm going to have to trim some of the body here, clear the wheel when it turns. Same for the flex. As you can see, it pushes the body up. There's one thing I wanted to show you guys in general. Now the Injora axles or Endura stuff in general. It's supposedly or supposed to be the better of the entry level parts. And if we have a look at the way things are made, they look really nice. They look really well made. But there's a couple of issues that you don't get when you buy the higher end stuff, like let's say the Vanquish stuff. So you got play here. Again, something I can work on and I can fix. Now there's another issue. I don't know if it's bearings or if it's the bearing mounts inside, but you got some movement in here. So now I know we can get rid of that or some of that slop. And then there's it's not too bad. I know RC Full Drive had a lot of slop in the gears, and it's fine for that. This part here, this axle here, doesn't have all the slop that the rest of it has. Now I'm thinking this skid plate is probably going to get hung up on items. I'm probably just going to remove it. The steering seems fine. Not a ton of steering, but I think it pushes about 44, 45 degrees. And it's got built-in stoppers, so you don't necessarily need to worry too much about overthrow. I gotta tighten these guys here because there's they haven't been tightened, so I might be complaining about nothing right now because there doesn't seem to be that much play over here considered. But that's the vehicle will run anyways even without that stuff. So there's a couple of things I got to look at. But all in all, I think it's coming out pretty good. Personally, I like it. It looks cool, especially with the body on it. Whether it's going to perform well or not, we'll see, right? It's got good tires on it. I love those PBX ATs. Use them on another one of my rigs. So I'm going to fix all these little tidbits and gadgets. Let me know if you want to see how I get rid of the play inside the gearboxes and so on. Otherwise, I'll just do it behind the scenes. And, it always takes a bit longer to do stuff when you're filming and that. So I guess I'll catch you guys later.